kind of mentioned that wanted to have you guys have a few questions kind of ready for the podcast. I don't know whichever one of you guys wants to go first, kind of start us off with a topic.
I think a topic we should kind of start on with jumping into the insurance industry, especially in today's world. Everyone sees it as like, oh, you can make, a bunch of money really quick. But a lot of people, don't see like the struggle behind it as well. So I guess, Ryan, kind of like walk me through. I know obviously you've been in the industry for, 4 or 5 years now. I guess like what are something that like people getting into this industry can expect like off the rip essentially?
Yeah, I mean, most guys have never been in sales when they get into sales with us, and so I would say like don't expect to just be good. Like first time you ride a bike, first time you do anything in life, you're gonna fall a couple times, scrape up your knee, scrape up your elbow or something, and then eventually you'll get the hang of it. And you'll just kind of have that skill forever. Like I can't even remember the last time I've rode a bike, but I could get on a bike right now and know I can ride that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like, sales is one of those things you can carry everywhere. But I'd say like giving people like a realistic view of what it would be like. Huge learning curve at first, learning the skill of sales, the skill of communication, the skill of connecting with people, as well as learning the skill of client relations, studying for your tests to get, to actually pass the exam. Learning our scripts, our CRMs, learning the products, everything like that. I mean, it's not the easiest thing ever, but that's why we make so much money. Yeah. Right? Like, there's no other place where you can go from, like, myself, there's no other place where you could kind of go and have zero insight at all, have zero experience in it, and make $250K cash direct deposit into your bank account in your first 6 months doing it, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's what I did my first 6 months in life insurance sales. I did high ticket. I did not mess with final expense. I did not mess with mortgage protection, which if you actually know mortgage protection, most of what you're selling is critical period protection or equity protection, which you're using final expense to sell that. Yeah. I did all IULs and annuities. So all the deals I was closing were 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 grand paid out commission into my bank account on one deal. And I was doing multiple of that. And so that's why when we start guys off, we don't necessarily want to start anybody off with like a final expense or mortgage protection. We'd like more IULs and annuities because we want to get our guys paid as fast as possible and get them paid as much as they possibly can.
Of course.
Right? So, I mean, that's realistic. It's not easy. It is pretty hard, but that's why you have mentorship. That's why we have training. That's why we have coaching. That's why, we have systems. We have everything set up so that it's as plug and play as it can possibly be.
Mm-hmm. So with this industry, obviously, we're doing the IULs, the annuities and things like that. I guess, like, why do you think there's such a low retention rate with new agents coming into this industry? Because it's like, what, like 93% of people in the insurance agent industry will usually fall off in their first year?
Yeah.
Why do you kind of think that is?
Yeah, I think it's more like 70% of people quit in their first year. But that's across any business. Like if you look at business in general, any type of industry, most businesses fail in their first year, right? Like 90% of businesses fail in their first year. I'd say 70% of people that get insurance license or even join insurance, a lot of them quit before they even get licensed because they just like can't take a test. It's like, come on, dude. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Many people fall off because they can't pass the exam.
I can't speak for everybody. I will say what I've seen a lot in the life insurance space, especially just because we have a lot of guys on our team, as you know, that are from different companies, because they have a lack of systems, they have a lack of training, they have a lack of transparency, right? Like life insurance is shady as fuck.
It is.
Like a lot of people are super shady. I've personally been fucked over so many times in insurance. Now I'm at a company and I have a mentor that I really do trust, and I have a great relationship with my mentor now, and he's doing multiple millions of dollars every single year, and he's a guy that I trust through and through. But it took me 5 years in business to like finally find somebody that I truly do trust, right? Mm-hmm. And the other thing too is, again, just like the lack of systems, the lack of training. Like there's so many guys that will come in and join our team, and they're like dude, like you have everything just set up. Like all the systems are built out, everything's there. And that's something that I feel like is unique that we have. But in terms of, kind of answering your question, why do people fall off? Dude, the biggest reason is because our whole entire life, everything has been cookie cutter out for us.
Yeah.
Like you stand in a line at school, you walk in, you have your schedule pre-planned for you. You have to show up at this time. You have to be there before the bell rings. The same exact thing for work at your job. You have to show up at this time, otherwise you get written up or you get an earful from your boss. You have your lunch at this time. You have your break at this time. It's a 15-minute break. You have a 30-minute lunch. You get off of work at this time, and then you just check out. Like as soon as you get off work, it's like you turn your brain off, you go turn on Netflix, you go play video games, you go do whatever the hell you're gonna do. And then you get into business and it's completely reversed.
It is.
The whole way that you've grown up, the whole way you've been indoctrinated to think, is completely different. You have no boss. You are your own boss, and people don't have the capacity to self-manage themselves.
Yeah.
Like you show up when you want to, right? You don't have a boss. You build out your own schedule, and a lot of people just can't handle that. They don't have the discipline because they've never grown up their whole life at all to even need to have that discipline. Everything's always been given to you. You have a boss that tells you to do this, this, and this. And people have no sense of being able to direct themselves to be successful.
I feel like that's like one of the hardest things too in this industry, especially in the remote side of it, is like being able to control your own schedule and being able to, show up every single day and almost still treat it like your 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
But most people, they're like, oh, remote, I can go take an hour off, a couple hours, and then they get distracted. Next thing you know, they're watching Netflix for 4 hours, and they're like, well, we'll just do it tomorrow. And then, next thing you know, 4 months down the line, they're like, this doesn't work.
Right, and then they'll quit because they didn't make money, but they didn't make money because it doesn't work, because insurance works.
It does.
Like you can look at hundreds of thousands of people that are making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. So one thing that we always say to everybody on our team is that like, look, you got to acknowledge that insurance works. It's whether or not you work.
Yep.
Because if you don't make money, that's because of you. That's not because of us. That's not because of the industry, because we have so many examples of people that are making money. We have so many examples of people that are crushing it. We have so many examples of people, like yourself, that was working as an engineer, and now you're full-time in sales. You've been traveling the world with us, doing all these things. And, somebody will come in and they just have no accountability at all. They want to point their finger at everybody else, and they can't bring their ego down to point their finger at themselves and be like, I'm not winning because I'm not doing enough. Yeah. They just want to like blame, oh, insurance doesn't work, the insurance is a scam, or like whatever it may be. It's like, no, bro, I got a shit ton of people that are making a shit ton of money, and you're like the only weirdo that's not making money.
They just see the end result of like the traveling and working from a beach and things like that, but they don't realize it took time to get to that point.
Yeah.
It took, hours of dialing and, getting hung up on and, no shows and policies not going through, getting all the way to banking, and I'm like, I gotta think about it. I don't want to do it, right? And they think, everything's just gonna be so easy, but when they get into it, they realize that like first part's not that easy. You gotta build up those skills and the mindset of going through the work every single day to eventually get to that point, right?
Yeah, and I feel like that's something that I'm being more aware of going into 2026, is not just posting just lifestyle content, because a lot of this business is marketing. Especially if you want to build an agency. So if you want to build an agency and you want to build a business to the point where you're making money from your agency, like ideally you want to earn agency income. You don't want to, like, sales is great. Sales completely changed my life. I was a welder. I was working 2 jobs. I was also a server. And getting into sales is incredible, and it does give you more money than you're ever going to make, but you're still trading your time for money. Right? The only way that you stop trading your time for money in a sales opportunity is if you're with a company that has a structure to where you can make a significant amount of money from your agency income, which is passive income, versus just your pen, what you personally write in business. And so again, when guys like even myself just post lifestyle content, you're creating a fake narrative that you just get into insurance sales and all of a sudden you're going to be able to travel 24/7, do all these things. And that's not the case. Like, that doesn't happen until you learn sales, make money from sales, and then start teaching other guys how to make money in sales, right? So there's a leadership development there. You have to become a leader to start earning agency income.